What's up, everyone? This is Cold091. Today I'm going to be doing a video talking about noise being incorporated into extreme metal. First of all, apologies if my hair looks like shit. Just got out of the shower not too long ago, so it looks a bit different than usual, but whatever. We are listening to, in my mind, the greatest metal record of all time, Conqueror, War Cult Supremacy. This album is bar none the most perfectly performed extreme metal record I've ever heard. It is chaos exemplified, but it is controlled in such a scary and mechanistic manner. It's just fucking brilliant. So, we are going to be talking about noise in metal, like I said. So, stuff like grindcore, war metal, war noise, black metal, that kind of shit. Stuff that incorporates noise into pre-existing genres. So, to start out, we were talking about Perversion, Black Perversion. This is Paul Ledney's project from Profanatica. This is his side project. When Profanatica originally disbanded in 92, I believe, 93, he picked up Perversion to kind of fill in the space for Profanatica being gone. And this is what was birthed out of that. He released Defiled the Son of God right here, which was very much more in the style of Profanatica. However, 1 year later, he would put out Black Perversion, which is completely different style from Defiled the Son of God. Defiled the Son of God is, like I said, Profanatica style, so, really fast blast beats, repulsive, disgusting lyrics, disgusting vocals, everything you would expect from early USBM. Perversion, Black Perversion, on the other hand, is basically like white noise mixed with black metal. Imagine a really thinly produced white noise with it's like staticky and shit, mixed with like really slow mid-paced drums and black metal vocals. That is what this sounds like. It sounds more like a sound effect or like guitar feedback than it does like black metal. Black Perversion, the song is unbelievable. It is like a slow trudge through the mud, walking towards like a dingy cave. It's just so fucking noisy, and calling it raw is kind of a mislabeling of it, because it's raw, but the rawness is very clearly intentional. So it's not like a mishap on the band's direction. It's clearly meant to be raw. So yeah, Perversion, Black Perversion, some of the most demented music I've ever heard that incorporates a lot of noise elements, especially into the first song. And yeah, it's just fucking unbelievable. Nothing. Conqueror, there's nothing like it, but in this case, there was literally nothing like it. I can't name a single release that sounds like this album. So next we have Tetrgrde, Typhonian Wormholes, Indecipherable Anti-Structural Formulae. Tetrgrde, in case you aren't familiar, Indian war noise, war metal band. They started, I want to say like 2013, and they put out a couple releases, but this was their debut EP, I want to say. And this is by a mile some of the most unique extreme metal I've ever heard. A lot of people think this is just noise, which I would agree with, but it's noise done in a very interesting way. Most noise, in the case of extreme metal, is very raw, very noisy, and very aggressive. But in this case, it kind of builds an atmosphere. This whole EP is I compare it to like laying in bed with wind going strongly in the background, or like a fan. It's really harsh sounding, but it's not a harsh atmosphere in my mind. It's just a really, really sick sounding. This is very sick stuff. But it's not unnerving in my opinion. It's more so just a very occult and very kind of anti-human sound. It doesn't sound human, it sounds more like a monster than it does a human. It sounds more like mythical than it does real life. So yeah, Tetrgrde, Typhonian Wormholes, unbelievable album. There's nothing like this as well. there are a lot of bands with noise in them, but this one does it in a way that's so unique. So yeah, incredible EP. Next, we got Anal Cunt, Old Testament, 1988, 1991. These are, I believe, all of the early Anal Cunt demos. We got the first demo, 47 song demo, 88 song demo, Anal Cunt theme song, live EP. The live EP is unbelievable. So yeah, this is the bulk of the early Anal Cunt material. And as you guys know, Anal Cunt, really infamous grindcore band. And the grindcore that you think of is probably from the mid to late 90s. But in the early days, Anal Cunt was basically a fucking noise band. Grindcore, it's very noisy to begin with. There's not much sense of melody. But in the case of Old Testament, I could play this to like even like a fan of Black Witchery or Conqueror, and they would say this is noise. Anal Cunt, this is noise, 100%. Live EP is just pure unhinged Anal Cunt. Anal Cunt in this album is the most pissed off, the most dogmatic, the most fucking just visceral sounding. So yeah, Anal Cunt, Old Testament. This is some killer fucking Anal Cunt. I like most Anal Cunt. Morbid Florist and the Old Stuff compilation is good, but the Old Testament is the best thing they ever did, I think. It is the most rough and most passionate and most unbelievably noisy thing they ever did. Because to me, the magic of Anal Cunt has always been the visceral aggression. And this is them at their least cleaned up, and I really like that about it. So, Anal Cunt, Old Testament, not for the faint of heart by any stretch of the imagination, but if you can get into it, it's unbelievable. Next, we have Damar, Triumph Through Spears of Sacrilege. This is a band I talk about all the time, but goddamn, there's a reason for it. Triumph Through Spears of Sacrilege is, in my mind, the third best war metal release of all time. You got Conqueror, Bestial Warlust, and then Damar for me. But Damar is easily the most noisy of those three. Preaching for Mass Suicide, basically a fucking war noise track. Ghost Phoenix, basically a war noise track. And Ode to Blasphemy is basically a war noise track mixed with like doom metal. So yeah, Damar, if you guys are familiar, this is a band from Lebanon consisting of 3 members. These guys. And Damar is quite simply the most visceral sounding war metal I've ever heard. Every song on here reeks of hatred and passion and just contempt for everything that could ever stand in their way. It's just incredibly powerful stuff. And most war metal, it has a sense of thematicness. It kind of feels like they're trying to be evil. This does not have that. This is just absolute visceral, dogmatic philosophy put into a record. And it's unbelievable. So yeah, Damar, Triumph Through Spears of Sacrilege. If you've not heard this, I fully recommend it. If you are a fan of like Conqueror, Black Witchery, Coppola, Tetrgrde, and you've not heard this record, you need to get your shit together. Alright, for the next one, we have Coppola, Infest Cesspool. This is the debut EP from Coppola, and to me, this is the best thing they ever did, period. I like everything by Coppola, but the early shit with this release is just ungodly raw. Homo Sapien Annihilation, Coppola Hellstrike, Coppola Hellstrike, AKS, all those songs are literally war noise. They're fucking unbelievable. This is interesting to me because I said on an Instagram post, I could see this being hard to listen to, even for fans, like seasoned fans of war metal. Because let's look at it. Conqueror, Black Witchery, Revenge, Damar, Blasphemy, Tetrgrde, Aeon, all those kind of bands. Most of them are rooted in black metal or death metal. Damar being an exception. But regardless, all of them are mostly black metal and death metal. You could argue this is mostly noise, which is something that most war metal fans are not accustomed to. So regardless of this being, of their bands being similar to this, I don't think there's any band like this, because most bands similar to this lean further into the black metal or death metal than the noise elements. And that's why this is such a shocking listen, because most bands just don't do this style, at least not with the same exact style. So yeah, Coppola, Homo sapien, Infest Cesspool. This is just by the numbers war metal, in the style of like Damar or Aot or Tetrgrde, but just ramped up to 11, and it's fucking killer. So good. All right, we got one more record, but I gotta stand up to go get it. We got Full of Hell, Garden of Burning Apparitions. Now, Full of Hell, very different direction from the other bands I've mentioned. However, I felt I had to mention this because not only is this one of my favorite bands of all time, at least within the last like 20 years, this record is just fucking killer. This is modern grindcore, which already I know is probably losing some of you. However, this is modern grindcore, I think done extremely well, mixed with noise. So you got Derelict Satellite. That is probably the most noisy song on this record. The track list is not on the fucking back, which is really dumb. But regardless, this whole album is just grindcore mixed with noise, and it's done exceptionally well. There is definitely melody in this record. It is not primarily noise, but there are elements of this record where you'll listen to it and just go, holy fuck. And because the way they do it is they'll do grindcore, so a full grindcore song with noise in the background, and then the next song will be a mostly noise song with grindcore vocals in the background. So it's just shocking stuff sometimes. So yeah, Full of Hell, Garden of Burning Apparitions. This is not necessarily up your guys' alley, because it seems most of the people who follow me are war metal and death metal fans. So I don't know if you guys will like this, because this is very conventional grindcore aside from the noise elements. But if you want to step out your comfort zone, check this shit out, because it's really damn quality stuff. Alright, so that was the video. I'm sure there are some other bands that I own that I'm forgetting that incorporate elements of noise. But if there are any bands you can think of that you enjoy with noise, and then please feel free to let me know. I think my favorite band with noise elements in them has to be Anal Cunt and Damar. These two releases just absolutely monstrous. I thought about putting Conqueror in here, but I'm like, there's not enough noise elements for me to put them in here. It's just really, really primitive war metal, but not so much noise. So yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you think of my list. If you have any good bands you want to recommend to me or people in the comment section. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.